Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's time for the finale. Time to find out here in Pensacola, Florida, apparently, who's going to be our first NWW All-Star
The
champion.
following contest is an Extreme Rules Falls Count Anywhere match and is for the National Wrestling World All-Star Championship.
You heard it
Making
here.
his way to the ring from Los Angeles, weighing in at 233 pounds, the Luchador Dino.
The Luchador Dino, Luchasaurus, close enough, is on the way to the ring. And, well, I would say he's got a hell of a challenge ahead of him. I mean, he does, but him also being a larger-than-life specimen, just like his opponent here tonight, it has to help him a little bit, one would think, as in comparison being a smaller opponent for Brian Cage. And these guys are somewhat similar wrestlers, so we're gonna see what ends up happening tonight.
And his opponent from Fresno, California, weighing in at 278 pounds, Brian Case.
And we've run another poll, believe it or not, kayfabe, and it looks like 80% of people think that Brian Cage is walking out of here with the championship tonight. 80%. Now, if you're Luchasaurus, do you let being the 20% hurt you or encourage you? I mean, I think if you're Luchasaurus, you've got to use the fact that you're the underdog to come up strong and surprise everybody. Show them what you're made of. Brian Cage coming in here. Hey, the odds might be 80-20 in the fans of the eyes, but both of these guys are incredible pro athletes, and they're going to come in here and do their best. They'll put it all on the line. That's what it's all about, right there in the hands of our referee. The NWW All-Star Championship. We've got Luchasaurus. We've got Brian Cage. Let's get this thing underway. And as we're getting tipped off here, don't forget, I am Dr. Greenfluff. You're watching my channel. Please do subscribe and like, comment, all that good shizness, because I appreciate you being here. And we're going to try to grow this brand a little bit here. Get back on our game, do the things we need to do. We've got a tremendous roster, and you haven't even seen all of it yet. You've just seen pretty much upper mid-card to main eventers up to this point. So I'm very excited to see who's going to win our mid-card belts. We have one on each brand, and we do have one women's belt on each brand as well. And I think we have tag teams on. I think we have separate tag teams. There might be one tag team. I'll have to check on that. It's been a little bit since most of this stuff. Okay, I'm sorry, but there might be one tag team. But nonetheless, I am excited to finally get this started. This is the last match necessary before we start our universe mode. And if you like the kind of wrestlers you've been able to see here at WWE Frost, just from what's been revealed so far, I'll tell you their roster that you've seen thus far is Pat, Kushida, Heyman Adam Page, Sami Callihan, Will Ospreay, Darby Allin, Jay Lethal, Luchasaurus, Brian Cage, Matt Sydal, Chica Fatu, Willie Mack, Pentagon Jr., Angel Garza, Rey Phoenix, and Elijo del Fantasma, or just Phantasma for short. It's the second rendition, right? This is son, quote unquote. And I don't know if you've watched our NWW Flair tournament for the NWW World Champion, the NWW World Championship tournament. We had Kenny Omega, Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr., Walter, Jeff Cobb, Marty Scurll, who is no longer on the roster, Killer Cross, Alex Shelley, Cody Rhodes, MJF, Mil Muertes, Chris Sabin, Johnny Mundo, Tejano Jr., Nick Aldis, and Christopher Daniels. And of course, you are absolutely welcome to go back and watch those matches, that tournament unfold. I just read out the brackets to you. Maybe not in the best way for you to understand them, but I just read you the names that were in that. Like I said, Kenny Omega, Orange Cassidy. Since those two are the first two, those two guys fought each other, so on and so forth. In the first round, anyway. And now, big DDT on here on the outside, and we've got these three guys out here sitting out here, and they're really comfortable chairs. They're not saying anything. We don't pay them. We don't know who they are. We just got a referee. We pay him. So Brian Cage kicks out. And Luchasaurus got here after defeating Kushida in his semifinal match. And Brian Cage, of course, after defeating Angel Garza. And Luchasaurus's trip to get here came after defeating Will Ospreay and Jay Lethal. Those were his two opponents in the first round and the second round. And Brian Cage, he overcame Matt Sydal, Jacob Fatu, and, like I said, Angel Garza. And now we're in the center of the ring. Big knee to the chest of Luchasaurus, and picking up the big man from the ground up, all the way up, hoisting him up in the air, and just dropping him. What a monster is Brian Cage. Going for the pin, though. Kick out right at the count of two. Big forearm. Oh, is he going for the choke slam? Is it time? Choke slam from Luchasaurus to Brian Cage, going for the pin, and a kick out right at two. And Luchasaurus growing some frustration. He thought he was going to have it. He hit his big move, thought that was it, but it's just not it today. And that is definitely the move they used to put away Kushida. Looked like Cage was going for the discus lariat, but that was a bad call. Is going to get hit with a tombstone pile driver. And a 2 count. Luchasaurus still not able to put away Brian Cage. A big punch there from Cage, but Luchasaurus remaining on top for the foreseeable future. Of course, I say that, but Brian Cage fighting back with all he's got. He's got him up. And that looked like maybe a modified F5 there, and he's going to go for the pin. And Brian Cage wins and is your first ever NWW All-Star Champion, and he will be the face of NWW Frost heading in to our Universe mode. And he stands opposition of the face of the NWW Flair heading into with the NWW World Champion Jeff Cobb. And we're going to see what these two have, what these two's future has to hold for each of them, for both of them. How is their title reign going to be? Who are they going to face? Who's going to be their first challenger or challengers on these new brands? We don't know. We're going to see when we get there, and it's definitely a very exciting prospect to imagine the amount of talent that we have on both brands and what kind of crazy matches we're going to get. Which brand are you going to be watching? Are you going to be watching both? We definitely encourage you to watch both, but Of course, we can't blame you for thinking one's better than the other. That's what brand supremacy is all about, right? And
Here is your
I'm sure that'll
winner
come into play at some
and
point.
new National Wrestling World All-Star Champion, Brian Case.
Once again, Brian Cage, the new champion, the first ever champion. And this is Dr. Greenfluff.